Hi, I'm Matt, and I'm part of the domain name naming team here at DomFind. And today we want to bring with you 5 tips for domain names. So let's get going. The first tip is don't wait until after you launch your business or product to look for your domain name. A domain name is so important and such an integral part of your business, you need to consider it during the business naming or product naming venture. Make sure that you keep the domain name constantly in mind. If you can't get the exact match.com domain name for your business or product, you probably want to start looking for a different name. We've had horror stories of people launching businesses or products and then thinking that they can just get the domain name later and the domain name is taken, or someone will sell it to them but for an exorbitant price and they can't afford it. And after spending all that time and money in launching their product, they have to either come up with a really long tail domain name or they have to rename the product altogether. And that leads us to our second tip for domain names, and that's length of your domain name. We typically say that a domain name should be no longer than 10 characters in length, ultimately between 5 and 7 characters. Remember, a domain name is like an address, and it has to be right for people to get to you. So think about when a person's typing your domain name in to the web browser, they need to get it right. And every character in length is another possibility for them to misspell, mistype your address or your domain name, and that can lead them to a different address or a different website. And sometimes that other website can be your competitor. So be really cognizant about that. Also, as far as confusing, this is our third tip, avoid dashes and hyphens. The trouble is that you also want your domain name to be easily communicated. And when you have hyphens or dashes in it, people get confused as to where those hyphens or dashes go. Think about theboatstore.com. Now think about the-boatstore.com. Think about one customer saying that to another customer. They'll say, is the hyphen between the and boat, or between boat and store, or is it the-boat-store? It's just very confusing. And remember, your domain name ultimately needs to be easily communicated and easily remembered, and a hyphen just confuses that. Number 4, avoid common spelling mistakes. There and there, or they are. Avoid to, TWO, TOO. It's just avoid things that people can't spell. There's a lot of words that we all know that we have trouble with. I'm a very poor speller. There's certain words that I still don't get right. So just be cognizant of common spelling mistakes and avoid those words altogether. And lastly, and most importantly, only the .com domain name. Every year they launch more and more domain name extensions like The Hotel or .movie or .whatever. Just there are more and more extensions coming out, making the .com domain name even more important. It's kind of like English. It's become the international language of business. .com is the international language of the web. If you don't have a .com domain name, you don't have a good web name. So .com domain names only. So those are our 5 tips for domain names. Thanks for checking us out. Please check us out on Facebook. We've got a Twitter. We'd love to hear from you either at either one of those sites. Also, check out our great blog. You can ask us questions there, bounce domain name ideas off us, learn more about domain names. We've got tons of tips and hundreds of blogs, so please check us out. Thanks for watching.